What is going on, everyone? We are back with another edition of TruBall Reviews. We got that Proton Physix today, the new ball from Storm. And of course, we are comparing that Proton Physix to a control ball, the Storm IQ Tour sanded to 2000 grit. We're going to go ahead and get a surface scan on that ball. 2000 grit. Scanned at 2000 grit. And that Proton Physix scanning right about 2500 to 3000. This ball actually comes out of the box at 2000 grit Abralon. So of course, we will start with that IQ Tour being the control ball. We want to get a ball reaction to base the review ball off of. So that's why we use the IQ Tour in every single video. And of course, we are bowling on that fresh Kegel Chromium pattern. And we also do have Specto. Specto allows us to see the data in real time, judging if the shot was good, shot was bad, close, so on and so forth. So we'll use that resource throughout the video today for this new Proton Physix about to go down the lane. All right. So this ball, you see that shot was just a little in compared to the control ball. But this ball is one of the strongest that Storm's ever put out. It's got the NEX cover. The core numbers are 248, 053, and the mass bias differential is 017. So there is the Proton Physix again. That one was too open. So we want to split that difference between the last two shots with the Proton Physix to replicate the shot with the IQ Tour. Now, they mentioned that this is one of the strongest balls that they've ever put out. Now, some patterns, depending on what you bowl on, you might not see it as total hook, but that ball, the core and the cover combination make this one of the strongest they've ever put out. Looking at it front to back, we can see the difference between these two balls once we start to get an idea of what this ball does. So you can see that those shots were very, very close. But you'll notice that the Proton Physix actually hooked a tenth of a board less. Granted, that's not a considerable amount, but it's still a very, very strong piece in terms of overall specs of the bowling ball. So just because it's a very, very strong ball doesn't mean it's going to hook a lot on every single pattern. But we will continue to take a look at this, see how strong this ball actually is, and give you our thoughts on the new Storm Proton Physix. So we moved in with that IQ Tour. We will go ahead and do the same with the Proton Physix as well. And of course, like I said, we do have Specto, Kegel Specto, with us on the lanes at the Education Center. And you can see there how that ball really, really just turned over. The shots were close, but they weren't on top of each other. You can see that they was just about a board and a half off at the lay down point. To the left. So you could see on that last shot how that ball really, really turned over getting into that oil. And that's what this ball is going to be very, very good for, is when there is a decent amount of volume that you're bowling on. That was way right. So we'll go ahead and do that one again. So when you're bowling on a decent amount of volume, this is definitely going to be a piece to look at. to think about adding to your bag if you need a ball for the fresh, something that is going to let you get through a game or a game and a half before the pattern starts to break down. This might be a piece to look at. So we're going to continue on with the Proton Physix, see what we can do from further in. Got that side view going. And we will take a look at that data here. So again, little open. But you can see the total hook numbers, 17.9 without IQ Tour and 22.5 with the Proton Physix. So if you're looking to rebuild an arsenal and you need a ball for the fresh, this is something to take a look at. Out of the Storm camp. That looked pretty close, but we'll take a look at the data, see what it says. Yeah, so that was actually pretty close in terms of targeting for that Proton Physix. But a good ball for fresh patterns. But also something to think about, this ball could be really good for something like a short pattern. Because on a short pattern, you really want the ball to, once it exits the pattern, to lay off once it exits the pattern. A common misconception is that you are going to need the weakest ball in your bag for a short pattern, but in fact that's sometimes not the case, because the more angular balls are going to do exactly that. They're going to be more angular once they exit the pattern. So once they see that friction after that 33 or 34 foot pattern ends, they are going to hook quite a bit. So with that being said, the Proton Physix, being as it is a stronger ball, is going to be something that on a short pattern exits the pattern, and it's going to possibly lay off, being a bigger ball that it is. So we got that Specto data showing you the data for the IQ Tour and the Proton Physix. Going to make another shot with that Proton Physix, and you can see as we move into the friction how that ball just really gets down the lane. That's how we were talking about that front to back hook, with that ball really laying off once it exits the pattern, which is something that some bowlers need on those fresh conditions. So we got that clutch bowling technology out there right now. We shut the lights off so we can showcase clutch bowling. We're going to move into my favorite part of the lane, where I think this ball will strike from, and see what we can do. Whew, that hooked. That hooked quite a bit. Yeah, when she sees friction, woo-wee, she likes to hook. 31.8 boards of total hook on that shot. So again, if you are looking to add a strong piece to your bag, you see the IQ Tour that just went down the lane there. Those shots look pretty close. The launch angle looked like it was off just a little. A tenth of a degree, not too bad. But you could see right there the overall amount of hook that we got out of the Proton Physix. So with that being said, this ball, woo, she's a strong one. It is a strong ball. Like I said, that's going to be good on some heavier volume patterns. And like I said, those short patterns as well, when you need something to lay off once it exits the pattern. That ball using its energy before it leaves the pattern. this could be something for you to look at. So if you have more questions or need more information, be sure to check us out on ctdbowling.com. Lots of educational insight there. You can also get TruCut sanding pads there as well. And also consider joining our staff. Our staff is completely free to join at the regional level. Head on over to ctdbowling.com, hit that regional staff sign up link, and you can join Team CTD for free. With that being said, I am Dustin Zahner with Creating the Difference, and have an awesome day, and thank you so much for tuning in.